Scorpio, my dear soul, there's something in you that has been quietly holding so much, like a tide pulled tight beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to rise. You carry depth in a way few people truly see, and lately that depth has started to move, gently at first, then all at once. As March 23 to 24 approaches, you may feel it building in your chest, in your throat, in the spaces where words have lived without ever being spoken. It comes like a slow wave, not loud, not forceful, just undeniable. And when it reaches you, it may bring tears. Not sharp, not overwhelming, but steady, honest, almost relieving, as if something inside you has finally been allowed to breathe. These tears hold something sacred. They carry recognition, the kind that settles deep in your body before your mind can even name it. They carry release, the kind that loosens what has been quietly held for far too long. And within them, there's a soft awakening, a moment where you begin to feel yourself returning to something real, something true, something that has always been yours. You might not have expected this, yet somehow it feels familiar, like a truth you've circled around before, now gently finding its way back to you at just the right time. There's a reason you're here, reading this, right as this energy begins to open. Something within you has been ready, and this moment has been waiting to meet you. If you feel that emotion already rising within you, 888. Because what's about to surface isn't just a feeling, it's the beginning of something that changes how you see everything that came before. It starts in moments so small you almost miss them. A quiet wake-up in the middle of the night, no sound, no reason, just your eyes opening into the dark, your body already alert, as if something inside you has been called. You glance at the clock, and there it is again, 3 a.m., that same still hour where everything feels closer, more exposed, more alive. At first, it feels like nothing more than restlessness, a shift in your chest, a thought that lingers a second too long. But then it returns the next night, and the next. Not louder, not clearer, just more present, like something waiting patiently for you to notice it, to sit with it, to feel it all the way through. During the day, it follows you in softer ways. A memory surfaces out of nowhere, vivid and detailed, carrying a weight you recognize instantly. A name crosses your mind, a moment replays, not as it happened on the surface, but as it felt underneath. And suddenly, it's not just a memory anymore. It's a feeling, rising again, asking to be seen differently this time. You might catch yourself pausing in the middle of something simple, a conversation, a quiet walk, even a breath, because something within you shifts just enough to pull your attention inward. It doesn't ask for explanation, it asks for presence. And the more you allow yourself to feel it, the more it begins to unfold, layer by layer, like something long held is finally loosening its grip. There's a rhythm to it now, subtle, repeating, gently building. The night awakenings, the emotional waves, the echoes of the past, all moving together, all pointing toward the same quiet center inside you. This isn't random, it carries intention, even if you can't fully name it yet. Something in you is opening, slowly, deliberately, with a kind of intelligence that feels both deeply personal and quietly guided. And as this inner space expands, you begin to sense that all of it, every restless night, every returning memory, every unspoken feeling, has been leading you toward a single moment, one where everything finally comes into focus. It happens in a moment that feels almost ordinary. A conversation that starts like any other, a sentence spoken casually, and then something in it lands differently. You hear the words, but more than that, you feel what sits underneath them, and suddenly your chest tightens, your breath slows, and there it is, a shift you can't move past. Or maybe it comes in stillness, no voices, no distractions, just you, sitting with your own thoughts, when something clicks into place with quiet precision. A realization rises, not rushed, not forced, just clear. And the moment it settles, your eyes begin to fill, as if your body recognizes the truth before you can fully put it into language. March 23 to 24 carries this kind of energy for you. It gathers everything that has been building beneath the surface and brings it forward, all at once, into a single point of awareness. The memories, the late-night feelings, the quiet knowing you kept revisiting, they align here, forming something undeniable. Not loud, not chaotic, just true. The tears come naturally. No resistance, no confusion, just a steady release, like something long held has finally found its way out. You may not even try to stop them. There's a sense of recognition in them, a feeling that says, you've known this, you've felt this before, and now you're finally allowing it to be real. It might be about a person, a connection that carried more weight than you admitted, or a truth about yourself, something you've sensed in fragments, now arriving whole. The clarity doesn't ask for permission, it simply arrives, and with it, a kind of emotional honesty that feels both tender and powerful at the same time. And in that moment, as the tears fall, something shifts inside you in a way that feels clean, almost precise. The confusion softens, the tension loosens. What once felt tangled begins to separate into something you can finally see, finally understand, finally hold without questioning. Because these tears are not random. They respond to something real, something that has been waiting for your awareness to catch up with your inner knowing. And as that truth settles deeper into you, you begin to feel what comes next. A quiet urge to release what no longer belongs in your hands. It doesn't happen all at once. The release begins quietly, almost in pieces, like your body is learning how to loosen its grip after holding on for so long. You can feel it in the way your shoulders drop just slightly, in the way your breath reaches a little deeper than it did before. Something that once felt tightly contained starts to shift, to open. You've carried this in silence for a long time, not loudly, not visibly, but steadily, consistently, beneath everything else. It lived in the pauses, in the things you chose to hold instead of express, in the moments where you felt everything yet kept it tucked away, carefully, almost instinctively. And now, that space within you begins to change. The tears were only the beginning. They softened the surface, made room for something deeper to move. And what follows is less dramatic but more powerful, a quiet unraveling. You start to notice what no longer feels aligned in your body, what feels heavy when you think of it, what your energy gently pulls away from without needing a reason. This is where the shift becomes real, not just emotional, but physical, almost cellular. You might feel moments of stillness where you simply sit, not trying to fix anything, just allowing what has surfaced to settle. And in that stillness, something inside you begins to release its hold, thread by thread, without force. There's an energy here that mirrors the Ten of Swords, not as pain, but as completion. A cycle that has reached its natural end, a weight that has fully revealed itself, now ready to be set down. You can sense it, that quiet recognition that you've carried this as far as it needed to go. And as you begin to let it fall away, even gently, even gradually, there's space. Subtle at first, then more noticeable. Your mind feels clearer, your body lighter, your emotions less tangled. Not empty, but open, like something within you has made room for a different kind of presence. If you're ready to let it all flow, I release and rise. And in that release, something new begins to emerge. Soft at first, almost like a distant light you can feel before you fully see it. There's a moment after everything has moved through you where the world feels unusually still, not empty, just softened, like the air itself has shifted to hold you more gently. You notice it in small ways first, the quiet in your thoughts, the way your body settles without effort, the absence of that tight, constant pull you had grown used to carrying. It's subtle, this kind of healing. It doesn't arrive with intensity or declaration. It unfolds in the spaces where tension used to live, now replaced by something calmer, something clearer. You may find yourself sitting in silence, not searching, not analyzing, just present, as if your entire system is recalibrating around a new center. And then, almost unexpectedly, a lightness begins to emerge. Not overwhelming, not dramatic, just real. You feel it in your chest, like a window has opened where something heavy once rested. Your breath flows differently. Your thoughts feel less crowded. Even your emotions begin to move with more ease, no longer tangled in the same patterns. This is where the energy of the star quietly enters. A gentle restoration, a return to balance that feels both grounding and expansive at the same time. You're not becoming someone new in this moment. You're reconnecting with a version of yourself that has always been there, waiting beneath the weight you've just released. There's a kind of clarity that follows this, not the kind that comes from forcing answers, but the kind that settles naturally when everything unnecessary falls away. You begin to see things as they are, without distortion, without emotional fog. And in that clarity, something inside you feels aligned. You might notice how your energy shifts around certain people, certain memories, certain spaces. What once felt heavy now feels distant. What once felt confusing now feels simple. There's no need to overthink it. Your body already knows. Your heart already recognizes what resonates and what no longer does. This phase carries a quiet confidence, not loud, not performative, just steady. You move through your moments with a deeper sense of trust in yourself, in your timing, in the path unfolding beneath your feet. And as this calm, steady light continues to grow within you, it begins to illuminate something else. A choice waiting just ahead, one that asks you to honor this new clarity in a very real way. You might notice it in the most unexpected moment. A name appears on your screen or in your thoughts, carrying a familiarity that feels almost immediate. For a second, everything pauses. Not because it pulls you back, but because it invites you to look again, this time with a different kind of awareness. The memory comes in clearly, not just what happened, but how it felt, how you held it, how deeply it lived within you. You can see the details now with a kind of distance, like watching a scene that once belonged to you, yet no longer defines you in the same way. And in that space, something shifts, quietly, but decisively. You begin to sense the difference between what once felt necessary and what now feels complete. The emotional charge softens, the urgency fades. What remains is clarity, simple and steady, guiding you inward rather than outward. You don't need to rush this moment. It unfolds on its own, revealing exactly what it needs to. There's a choice here, and you can feel it. Not heavy, not overwhelming, just present. You can hold on to what was, revisit it, keep it close, or you can allow it to rest where it belongs, acknowledged, understood, and gently released. The power of this moment lives in that awareness, and something within you already knows. You feel it in your body, in the calm that replaces what used to feel complicated. It's no longer about what someone else gave or didn't give. It's about what you choose to carry forward, what you choose to align with, what you choose to honor within yourself. As this realization settles, your energy begins to gather around a new center. Your value feels clearer, more grounded, less dependent on anything outside of you. You start to recognize what resonates with this version of you and what naturally falls away. In this space, love takes on a different shape. It feels more aligned, more mutual, more reflective of who you are becoming. And as you stand in that quiet certainty, something else begins to move toward you. Slowly, steadily, as if responding to the clarity you've just claimed. It shows up in ways you might almost overlook at first. a message you didn't expect, a response that comes through after a long silence, an opportunity that feels quietly aligned with where you are now. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels rushed. It arrives with a kind of timing that feels precise. You begin to notice a pattern in it. The same areas where you once felt unseen or uncertain start to shift. Conversations flow differently. People respond with a new kind of openness. Doors that once felt distant now seem closer, easier to step toward. It's as if something has adjusted beneath the surface, and now the outer world reflects that change back to you. Around March 23 to 24, this movement becomes clearer. The energy you've been recalibrating internally starts to take form externally, not as something overwhelming, but as something steady and grounded. You may find yourself standing in front of a choice, an offer, or a moment of recognition that feels earned in a deeper way, not just through effort, but through alignment. There's a different feeling in how you receive now. Before, there may have been hesitation, questioning, a need to measure or prove. Now, there's a quiet readiness. You can feel it in the way you pause, not out of doubt, but out of awareness, choosing what truly matches your worth rather than reacting to what simply appears. Even in financial or professional spaces, this shift carries through. What returns to you carries a different quality. It feels cleaner, more direct, more reflective of the energy you've been cultivating within yourself. You recognize it not just by what it offers, but by how it feels when you engage with it. Steady, clear, and supportive. This is the flow of energy coming full circle. What you've given, what you've held, what you've worked through internally, it begins to echo back into your reality in tangible ways. Not all at once, not loudly, but with a consistency that builds trust in what's unfolding. And as you stand in this new rhythm, you begin to sense that receiving itself becomes a practice, something you step into consciously, something you allow, something you align with more deeply as the next layer begins to open. It begins the night before, on March 22nd, in a space that feels intentionally quiet. You dim the lights, not out of habit, but with awareness, as if you're creating room for something within you to come forward. The air shifts slightly when everything slows down, when the noise of the outside world softens enough for your inner voice to rise. You light a white candle, and the flame holds steady, simple, focused. There's something about watching it that brings you into the present moment almost instantly. Your breathing changes, your thoughts begin to settle, and without needing to force anything, you start to feel more connected to yourself, to your body, to the quiet intelligence moving through you. You place your hand over your heart, gently, and stay there for a moment. Not searching, not analyzing, just feeling. At first it might feel subtle, like a faint awareness. Then gradually something deeper begins to respond. A warmth, a pulse, a sense of presence that feels both grounding and expansive at the same time. When you speak your words, they carry a different weight here. I release what I've been holding. I step into my truth. You repeat them slowly, allowing each one to land, to move through your body rather than just your mind. With each repetition, something aligns a little more clearly, as if your system is recognizing the intention and beginning to organize around it. Later, as the morning of March 23rd arrives, there's a softness in the way you wake. You pause before reaching for anything external, letting your first awareness be inward. When your feet touch the ground, you feel it. A quiet steadiness, a sense that something has already shifted, even if you can't fully describe it yet. This is where intention becomes motion. Small, deliberate, present. The ritual itself feels simple, yet the effect moves deeper than expected. You're no longer just thinking about change. You're stepping into it, embodying it, allowing it to take form through you. And as this alignment settles into your body and your awareness, you begin to sense that you've crossed something unseen. a threshold that gently leads you into the next version of yourself, waiting just ahead. There's a quiet moment after everything has moved through you, where the tears have already fallen, where the truth has already settled, and something inside you feels different in a way that doesn't need to be explained. It's softer, yet stronger, more open, yet more grounded. Like you've returned to a part of yourself that has always been there, waiting for you to arrive. Those tears, they were never the end of anything. They were the doorway, the place where everything you carried began to loosen, where everything you felt began to make sense. And now, standing here in this space, you can feel it. A new kind of clarity, one that doesn't rush, one that simply is. Something in you has shifted into alignment. You can feel it in your body, in the way you move through your thoughts, in the quiet confidence that no longer needs validation. The truth you've accepted has created space, and in that space, something new begins to take root, gently, steadily, with a sense of timing that feels deeply your own. And you, Scorpio, you're stepping into this next version of yourself with a presence that feels real. You're no longer reaching outward for answers. You're meeting yourself where everything already lives, within your awareness, your honesty, your willingness to feel fully and choose clearly. There's a readiness here now, a quiet openness to receive what reflects your worth, your growth, your energy. You don't need to chase it. You can feel how it begins to move toward you, naturally, as if responding to the way you've come back into yourself. If you feel ready to step into what's meant for you, I step into my new path. And as you carry this energy forward, gently, steadily, allow it to shape what comes next. If this moment resonated with you, you can stay connected here, through a like, a share, or simply by being part of this space where these messages continue to find you. Because something has already begun, and you can feel it quietly unfolding just ahead of you.